Hi everyone, very warm welcome to Corvinus University of Budapest on the occasion of our webinar for the Hungarian Diaspora Scholarship webinar. We are delighted to have you with us, whether you are joining us live or you are perhaps following this presentation in a recorded format later on. My name is Marianne Baker, or for short, Mari Baker, which is how people know me here at the university. I'm head of international student recruitment and admissions, and I have with me today one of our Hungarian diaspora students. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Mari. My name is Tisa, and I'm currently a diaspora student here at Corvinus University. This is actually my fourth and final year here at the university. So yes, I've had quite a few experiences at this point with Corvinus, with the diaspora. So very happy that you're here and yes, that you're considering Corvinus and the diaspora.
Thank you very much, Tisa. We decided to proceed in English today because we cannot be sure that you can follow this program in Hungarian, but if you can, akkor szervusztok, üdvözlünk,
jó reggelt,
vagy jó estét, kinél mennyi az idő. But in our experience, in our community, all diaspora students can speak English.
Yes.
But they cannot necessarily speak Hungarian.
Exactly.
And of course, the program doesn't require you to speak Hungarian at the start of your program anyway. Some of you do, fine. But as part of the program, you are expected to learn some of the language and to get to I think it's a B2 stage by the end of your program with us. And of course, the study programs at Corvinus that we are offering as part of the diaspora program are all in English. And we will take you through a presentation which is focused predominantly on the university and its offering as part of the diaspora program. And I want to highlight to you that in terms of the details, expectations, application requirements of the program, actually the Tempus website and the scholarship application information pack is your best source of information. I don't want to repeat what Tempus make very clear on their platform. We really just want to focus on the university's offering and also with Tisa's help to give you a little first-hand experience of the process at Corvinus to make your journey easier. So with that, let's start our presentation. Maybe if you could go back for a second to the opening page. I want to spend just a second on looking at this image. The person in the forefront, the male student is actually a diaspora student himself. Perhaps Tisa, you know.
Yes.
Chris, he volunteered to be part of some of our photo shoots. So thank you, Chris. And what a great opportunity. If you are a student at Corvinus, you don't need to be diaspora, but if you are diaspora, you are extra specially welcome. And if you have visited Budapest, then perhaps you can recognize the bridge in the picture, which is the Liberty Bridge that connects, of course, the Pest and the Buda sides. And just there in the background, you can also see the main building of Corvinus University. It was built at about the same time as the bridge itself. And of course, in the old days, it was not a university. It was a customs exchange palace, if you like. So this area of Pest was a bustling center for commerce in or at the turn of the 19th, 20th centuries. And perhaps it's befitting that today we are a university focused on business, economics, and social sciences. If we move on to the next slide, we just want to make this statement. This is always what I say when I do a presentation about the university. We are Hungary's leading university for business, economics, management, and social sciences. Full stop. We feature very well in international rankings too, but in terms of the choice for Hungarian students here locally, who, by the way, make up maybe about 80% of the student body right now, we are the top choice if they are considering these subjects. So I want to encourage you as well to include us as your main choice or one of your priority options. You probably already know from your knowledge of the scholarship application scheme that you can indicate more than one program as part of your application, but you need to put them in order of priority. And I think you can apply for 3 courses. Two now?
Yes, so it's you have the opportunity. For example, I picked for my first place Corvinus University Business and Management, and then my second option was at Corvinus as well, International Business. So I luckily got into Business and Management, but if I wouldn't have, I would have automatically been considered for International Business here as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Tisa. We wanted to talk a little bit about our mission and vision and values. We put a lot of emphasis on these. Since last summer, the university has had a new rector who arrived to us from a leading Brussels, Belgian business school. He is the first truly international rector of the university who decided to put Corvinus on a completely new path in terms of its internationalization agenda and its international ambitions for the university as a whole, for its staff, for its students, whether they are from abroad or from home. So we wanted to share these thoughts with you as part of this presentation so that you are clear that the university takes itself and its ambitions very seriously, and that is what we are inviting you to sort of join us for as part of our community. On the next slide, you can see the values highlighted. These main themes are carried through the entire curriculum and university life as a whole. You are encouraged to collaborate with your peers and, in fact, very often with your academic leaders. We encourage you to develop a mindset for systems thinking, for excellence, and of course, for integrity. And here, the kind of ethical considerations of business leadership come into play. There are many opportunities for you to sort of live out these values through your university work, whether you are joining in teamwork, you are doing projects together, you join in kind of social programs that you can access at the university, or perhaps you enter competitions as groups together. So the university has been here since the 1920s. This is important to note. So that's over 100 years. The university is rooted in a very long-standing academic tradition, and you can sense that as you walk through the walls of that old building. Very important for us to adhere to those traditions, but at the same time constantly innovate and dynamically develop and give our students the best opportunities to connect with the world of business. Of course, this is not our only building, and you will see a little bit later on some additional images. So I'll come back to those. Here on this slide, we highlight some of the key accreditations and recognitions that the university holds. AACSB or AMBA are two very important ones, and perhaps I'm not sharing a secret or disclosing a secret, but we are also working this year towards EQUIS accreditation, which usually is the third kind of accreditation that business universities or business schools covet. Right now, we are sort of double crown, but if we get the EQUIS accreditation, we will be triple crown. And that's important for you as future students, important for our current students, because that gives us and your degree that you are hoping to achieve here status. The SEMS network is also a very important and prestigious network that we are part of. This network started out as some high-profile European universities. By today, it's more global. If you look at the SEMS website or look at our website, and we talk about this in detail, there are some significant American, Singaporean, Australian, and European and British universities who are part of that network. Well, my heart melts always. I personally lived away from Hungary for a good few years and moved back recently to take this fantastic job at Corvinus University of Budapest. Budapest just melts your heart. It's an amazing city. Whether you have Hungarian origins or not, I represented the university many times at exhibitions abroad, and students who visited university always said that, oh yeah, I'd love to go back. Oh, I need to go back. I have to. I don't know, Tissa, do you have anything to add? Did you visit as a child?
Yes. So I was lucky enough to be able to come here almost every summer, but living here was just absolutely a different experience. And it was something that, it may sound cliche, but I didn't know that I needed. My heart was really yearning for this city. And I'm so happy to live here. Even after 5 years of living here, I still, when I go back and visit my family or my parents, and then I land in Budapest again, I'm like, oh, it's so good to be back. And I'm taking pictures on my phone, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city.
And of course, beyond being beautiful, it's a key business hub in the region. There are many multinationals who place their representative offices here. It's home to many innovative startup scenes, and among those startups, often you will find Corvinus graduates. who come out with that strong entrepreneurial spirit. And if you look up on YouTube our alumni stories, there are some amazing stories there of Corvinus alumni who made fantastic enterprises. And sometimes they move on from startups to very significant businesses.
And I also, if I can say something, I don't think people realize, I at least personally didn't realize until I started at Corvinus, and for my program, we have to do a mandatory internship. It was when I started looking for my internship that I realized just how many hubs companies have here. So very big companies, I mean, top of the top, and a lot of their European bases are here in Budapest, ExxonMobil, Philip Morris.
We have a slide actually on these
yes.
In a moment, and not only are they here, they are our partners.
Yes,
there
we go.
Actually, the next slide. So the ones that we show here have signed agreements with the university. We have a careers office who now kind of nurture relationships with these companies to give our students the best opportunities to find a way in. And of course, we invite the expertise from the world of business to inform our teaching, to inform our curriculum. And the more often I speak to our students, the more I realize just how rich the opportunities are to work on real life projects.
In English.
In English, absolutely. And often, you know, I see OTP Bank there, that's the key sort of Hungarian bank. And I was talking to an MBA student the other day, and they said, oh no, I need to rush. I need to go to OTP to present my project, because they are given real life problems to work on. Okay, so corporate partners in Budapest. A few numbers here, just so that you get a sense of the size of what we are. With our 8,500 students, we are a medium-sized university. You know, neither too small, neither too huge. Of course, there are universities with, I don't know, 3,000-5,000 students, and there are universities with 40,000 students, and they are very different animals, shall we say, or beasts in the case of the larger institutions. So here, what you have is focus. You know, it's business, it's economics, it's social sciences. We don't have any other faculties. It's very easy for us to express who we are, what we are, and sort of sing from the same hymn sheet here. You will see 4 buildings mentioned there, 4 dorms. You will see a few images of these in a minute. And yeah, I mean, the alumni club membership is growing by the day. We have a unit within our communications department who now focus very actively on engaging that huge community of Corvinus alumni. Here you can see just a few images. On the left, it's the Salt House. There's a reason why it's the Salt House. It used to be a building that probably stored salt at the time when the main building in the middle was a customs exchange center. Of course, the salt must have arrived on the Danube from where it was mined. And now I think the Salt House mainly houses the IT services, but they are glorious historic buildings. And then on the right, or at least my right, I can see the building which we are currently sitting in. This is building C, which gives home to our library, many auditoriums and classrooms where a lot of the teaching takes place. And of course, we have another amazing campus just across the river and the bridge, which we showed you earlier. This is our superb Gellért campus, which apparently is amongst the most sustainable and most state-of-the-art developments in the country. Here again, we have conferencing facilities, we have some offices, there are teaching, and I think there's also some accommodation. So if you are lucky, you might even get into the accommodation there. I mentioned the fact that in terms of our Hungarian student population, this is the university in the country that's the most difficult to get into. So, you know, it's a privilege for our international students, and to some extent that includes you, to come and study alongside the best talent that the country can produce in terms of those subject areas of interest. So then, we offer preparatory programs, bachelor's programs, the master's programs, and PhDs. I believe that in the diaspora, we only present the bachelor's, the master's, and the PhDs, and not the prep. And I think it makes sense for us to talk a little bit about the requirements, especially for the bachelor's and the master's. PhD requirements are slightly more complex, so I would leave that as a separate topic, which you can get in touch with us about, and we can put you in touch with the PhD schools, because there are very specific requirements there. But in terms of applying, just follow the instructions that you find on the Tempus Hungarian Diaspora Dream Apply platform. So the bachelor's programs currently available are Applied Economics, Business and Management, International Business, Data Science in Business, Business Informatics, PPE, which is it's unique in the region. So my understanding is that not many Central European universities teach this. Of course, it's a British invention and it is taught in the UK, but we are quite unique in offering this. We have communication and media science and also international relations. Now, in terms of requirements, let's go back for a second to bachelor's, please, because I wanted to say that as part of your application, you will need to upload evidence of your English language ability. I know that sometimes that's obvious. It was obvious for you because you are a native English and Hungarian speaker.
Yes.
And of course, if you have an American passport, like in your case, no question.
Yes.
But some of you might come from countries where English is not as widely spoken. So even if you studied at an international school or you can speak English, we will need evidence of some sort. So it's a requirement, an admissions requirement, that you submit a B2 level English certificate.
But it's definitely not as scary as it sounds. A lot of people think that you need to take like the TOEFL or like a serious exam, but that's actually not the case, I think, or at least this is how it was when I applied. You can even, there's like an online Duolingo exam that you can sign up for, and the university accepts that. And it was like a 30-minute exam just to test your English, and that's it. It's online from your home, and yes, so it's not so complicated or expensive.
There is a list, yes, and I mean, if you have IELTS, if you have a Cambridge exam,
or a lot of people already have it,
then great. There are also some exemptions. So, for example, if you are studying at an IB school, or if you are studying A levels, in the British system, then you can sort of use those exemptions for evidencing your English language ability. But like Tissa says, not an issue if not. Duolingo, for example, is one of the accepted exams, and you will find a complete list on our website, which is very easy to navigate. Just make sure to switch to the English version, and then we have an application information section where you can find everything that you need. And the next point I want to make about bachelor's entry requirements is that the BScs, which of course is not shown here, but all the kind of economics, management, business related ones, so applied economics, business and management, international business, data science, and business informatics, all require an online maths test that we invite you to sit in the exam period earmarked for our scholarship applications. So please don't get confused if you visit our website. The self-funded student admissions process is rolling. So there are exams for those applicants every month. But please don't feel left out. In fact, feel special and privileged. April is your time to shine and take the online maths test. There are plenty of practice materials on our website, so don't be scared. Just go to the website, download the practice tests, and then you will know what exactly we are looking for. So you have plenty of time until April to focus on that. And the PPE also requires a maths test. And the PPE is the only course that requires both the maths test and an interview. The last two courses, the two BAs, Communications and Media Science and International Relations, only require an interview. This is an online interview which you are sent a link for, and you will meet a member of the academic team. And it will last 10 or 15 minutes, where they will check your motivations, your interest in the subject area. And it's important to mention here that we are not looking for knowledge that we are going to teach you. We are looking for evidence of awareness and an interest in the subject area. And you can find a lot of information on our website about those requirements, those interview requirements as well. You just need to click on the courses under admissions requirements. Okay, so that's bachelor's. I don't know, Tissa, if you have anything to add. You must have taken the maths test online. Yes. How was that for you?
Yes, it's a difficult test, but you'll be okay. So let's say if you have difficulty with the test, maybe the program isn't for you. Okay. So that's kind of a good filter, I would say. And yes, like Moni said, you can go on the website and you can even download the test from the previous years. So you can study based off of that. And I would recommend to start studying probably in January, latest February. Just not intensely, but start reviewing those concepts, especially if you're maybe someone. I had been out of high school like 2 years already. Mm-hmm. So I had to kind of go back and remind myself of some knowledge. But definitely
and how was your maths at high school, by the way?
High school.
Did you have good marks at that time, or did you really have to sort of?
I struggled with math throughout high school, and the highest level I got to in high school was Calculus 1. In the US, that's where I got to. Maybe other countries have different levels. So I wasn't the best math student, I would say.
But you worked hard.
But I worked hard, yes, and I had to get myself together. And yes, this exam, I did prepare a lot for it, for the math exam, because I know that that's something I struggle with. But for example, there were other people who found it to be a bit easier. But it's not even so much just the math in the exam. It's that you have a time limit. And so you don't just need to work on learning the material, but also answering the questions efficiently to finish it within the time period. So it's not something where you can sit and think and think and think and think and think. You need to, be prepared to know the answers and write them.
Fabulous. Thank you very much for that, Tissa. At the master's level, here you can only see kind of program families, if you like. We have close to 30 programs that are on offer at master's level. Some of the courses are 1, other courses are 2 years. And it really depends on how in-depth your knowledge may be of a certain program area, say from your bachelor's studies. And that will sort of guide your choices as to whether you should be going for a 1 or a 2-year program. The 1-year programs are much more specialized. They require much more of a background in the particular study field, whereas the 2-year courses will give you I can't say a more leisurely first year, but because I'm sure they are very hard work, but you will get more of an introduction to a particular subject area. So if you are coming at your choice of subject from a different angle, then the 2-year program is probably better. And we also have a credit recognition process whereby you will need to show what you studied at bachelor's level, and we will need to match those credits, so the content of your bachelor's program, to our requirements at the master's level. So be prepared. This is a bit of an administrative exercise, which we will invite you to be part of as part of the admissions process. In addition, we also have online tests for our master's applicants. The tests are of 2 types, A or B. One of them focuses more on quantitative abilities, whereas the other type is more kind of qualitative, but I'm not sure I'm giving due detail here, but I want to invite you to visit the website, look at the individual courses, look at the content, and look at the type of exam that is required. The good news, again, is that we have plenty of practice materials for both the type A and the type B exams. And then, of course, we have the interview. Yes, it's a rigorous process at Corvinus. The program directors or their delegates want to meet you in the form of an online interview where you will again be given scores just like in the written exam, and then the overall scores will be produced as a sum total of the written and the oral part. And there are some exemptions, actually, not to replace the interviews, those need to happen, but to replace the written tests. And the list of those exemptions can be found again on our website. For example, just one example, because I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to read out the website. For example, if you have a GMAT exam, that is a valuable exemption that we can take into account. And then you don't have to sit the written element. I mentioned the credit recognition, but I also have some good news. There is no English language test requirement. And that is because, to some extent, the online test requires you to be operating at a very comfortable level in English. And of course, in the interview, the online interview with our academics, you need to be operating at a confident level of English, so we don't ask for a separate document. That is it in terms of what I wanted to say about master's requirements. But I wanted to actually say a couple of words. So just before I came to deliver this session with Tissa, I had a word with our admissions experts, and I asked them what I should convey to you as something helpful and useful tips towards the application process. And they said that they recommend that you pay a very careful attention to when you have to upload documents onto the Tempus DreamApply platform. So there is the application deadline, which is early February this year, and you really have to submit each and every document that you already have in your possession at that point. Now, what do I mean by this? If you are still at school and you still don't have your final high school certificate, then obviously you cannot submit that. There is another deadline for that. That is August the 1st.
Yes.
Every year. But you must absolutely submit what we call a declaration by the first deadline, the application deadline, to explain why you are not submitting that particular document as yet. And admissions said that many people slip up on this. So make sure to pay attention to these deadlines.
Yeah, I would also just like to emphasize that every single year people come to me freaking out that they're not going to receive a document in time. And, you know, you really need to start this early. A lot of people don't think, yeah, February seems far away, but at the same time, it's the holidays now. New Year's, a lot of things shut down until early to mid-January. And for example, if you do have your diploma already, that's something that needs to get apostilled, often by your government. That process can take weeks to send in your diploma, receive your diploma back, and then upload it to the DreamApply. So that's just something that is out of your control, right? With how long it takes. So that's something that would need to be started now. So it's kind of those processes, along with getting a letter of recommendation, that also you need to give the person writing it time. And so just kind of stuff like that. Oftentimes you need to go back to your high school, get some information, some papers, documents from them. So definitely it's never too early to start. I would say that. And yes, pay very close attention to the deadlines, very close attention, not just until February, but even after February, because there will be things that you have to continuously upload. For example, I think there's like a medical.
I was just about to say that, because
Yes.
it was also mentioned by our admissions guys.
Yes.
No,
Not anymore.
it's
Okay,
been
not
cancelled.
anymore. Oh, great.
Good.
I had that before, but I guess that's not a thing anymore.
So I
But pay
understood
attention.
that this was a particular pain
That was a pain.
point
Yeah.
for both the applicants and the people processing the applications.
Good.
But look, it will still have to be done. But I understand it will be
Once
done. Yes.
Yeah.
So the stress, at least, is reduced by, you only have to focus on the documents, the admissions process, the entrance exams,
Yeah.
and then you can worry about the medical certificate. So
Yeah.
this
But
is
check your emails every day. Check DreamApply every day. I could not emphasize that more. It's really important, because one slip up, even in February or March, and you're disqualified. So it's very, very important to check deadlines.
And yes, it's interesting. I was also talking to my colleagues about the kind of success rate and how likely students are to get the scholarship. And what my colleague said, that once someone pays attention to what they need to do and when they need to do it, they really stand a good chance of getting it. Yes, you do need to get through the admissions process, but that's certainly a selection point. But in terms of the scholarship, it's more of an administrative process than anything else. So I also understand that you need to pay attention to your motivation letter, which will be checked not by the university that much. We will focus on the academic elements of the entrance process, but by the government bodies who administer the scholarship. So here on this slide, we are showing some key timelines, which of course you will also find on the Tempus website. We can move to the next one. We have actually covered this when we were looking at the programs themselves. Just checking the international MBA, I don't think I mentioned, that's a slightly different requirement. We have an interview and a task, an essay task, and you also need to have 3 years of work experience to qualify for the program. So that's important to note. Thank you. Now, there is a nice little feature here. If for some reason you are not awarded the Diaspora Scholarship, but you qualify academically to enter the university, we also welcome your application as a self-funded student, and we can offer you a 20% discount of your first year's tuition fees as a fallback option. Let's hope it's not necessary and that you will go through the diaspora process, but it's there for you to give you a little bit of peace of mind in case you need to rely on this. Plenty of information about accommodation options on our website. I mentioned earlier that we have 4 dorms. It's actually very competitive to get into the dorms, but I think that stipendium Hungarian and diaspora students are prioritized a bit in comparison to self-funded students, which is nice. But some students actually prefer not to go into the dorms, but find their own accommodation. In fact, most of the students that I work with interns, with student helpers, you guys all choose to rent.
Yes.
And the good news is that actually Budapest is still, how can I put this? It accommodates incoming students. It's not a problem to find accommodation, because you do hear horror stories about, I don't know, Holland, the Netherlands and Dutch universities, and none of that here. So okay, capital city, but no, easy to find accommodation. And on the website you will find not only details and prices of the dorms, you will also find alternative options to help you, on the one hand, develop an idea of costs and opportunities, and also to actually start you off on a particular search if you want to find a solution ahead of your arrival.
And it's definitely important, if you are aiming to get into a dormitory, it's also very important to consider that you may not get in, even though you are a prioritized student, but you may not get in. And so in that case, definitely be prepared that you may have to rent accommodation, and obviously you get 30,000 forints per month towards accommodation. It's not enough. It's not enough, not even nearly enough, for example, to rent a room or an apartment. So definitely have a backup plan, and don't have that, you're here in Budapest, the dorm didn't work out, and you don't have any money to rent an apartment, and then you're, stranded. So definitely just be prepared, in all cases, and kind of look at all of your options.
Yes. Okay, I just wanted to mention plenty of extracurricular activities. It's sort of part of the package. What you see here in the image is, I think, the Gellért campus. This is the climbing wall at the Gellért campus. I don't know if you've been there.
Yes, it's very nice. This campus was built or completed last year, I believe. So it's a beautiful campus, and they have rock climbing and workout classes, like all different types. So it's really amazing.
Okay.
Very cool campus.
And of course, there are many clubs and societies, many kind of sports classes to attend, student organizations, and with the university's kind of new effort to internationalize further, I would love to see students coming in, new students who actually take it upon themselves to maybe form new groups and societies that can cater for international students, because traditionally I think a lot of them are quite strongly Hungarian led and driven, and not necessarily English speaking, but I think that is slowly changing, and something I would love to see develop further. So come on in and do it, guys.
No, I've really had a very international experience here. I would say I was even a bit surprised. I mean, my very first class that I walked into at Corvinus was a professor from the US, from Virginia, I believe, or Maryland. And I was like, oh my God. And since then, I've had American professors. I've had British professors from Mexico, from Morocco, from really all over. So it's definitely an international experience. And not just the professors, but also I've studied with students from all over.
Good point.
Yes, my classmates were from all over Europe, Asia, the US, Latin America. So absolutely international, and also a lot of Hungarian students, but who are studying in English. And I can really truly say that as a native English speaker, the English level is very, very high. So some of my classmates, I would be in shock, like, how do you speak such good English, And I was very, very pleasantly surprised by that.
Very good. Let's see if we have any. Yes, I think we are getting to the end of the sort of formal presentation. I want us to look at the questions a little bit, because some of you made some comments and questions here. So Tissa is going to put her glasses on.
Yes. I can see.
And we are going to check out some of your questions, which hopefully we can answer here live.
Is it an English-speaking university?
Yeah.
Yes. You have programs in Hungarian, you have programs in English. Obviously, you're applying to an English program. So yes.
Very good. Benefits of the scholarship. That's quite a deep question, isn't it?
Where do I start?
Yeah, I know.
Really wonderful benefits. I mean, firstly, let's start with the fact, free university. Okay, I come from a country where people go into quite literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. And so maybe to some people, having a free education isn't a big deal. But for example, for me, that was something that even now, I really, really, really value. I'm starting my life debt-free. and not with 300,000 euros or dollars of debt like I would have. So that's the first huge benefit. The second one is with Corvinus, you're studying at one of the best universities in Central Europe, and I would even say in Europe. For business, it's very, very strong, very, very international, lots of international accreditations. Number three, you're studying with people who are like you and interacting with people who are like you. So, right, it's quite a niche to be international, but be Hungarian. And you're here meeting so many different types of people who are just like you. And it's really amazing. And really, like I said, studying from people from all over the world, which is amazing. I would say that's kind of like the part of Corvinus. Other than that, once you start your studies here as a diaspora student, you're also eligible to sign up for like a mentor program, which is essentially a program where we meet 2 to 3 times a month and do different activities. And it's diaspora students from all over Hungary, from different universities. And we do cultural programs, for example, Hungarian language classes. We go on weekend trips to different regions of Hungary, stuff like that. So it's a really wonderful, not just education that you're getting here at Corvinus, but also sense of community in general here in Hungary. And really the motto, right, of the diaspora program is rediscovering your roots. And so that's really what you get to do while getting an excellent education.
Thank you, Tisa. I hope that your ambitions will unfold beautifully with our help and with the scholarship's help. There is an important question here. Someone says that they can't apply for one of the courses, that the application is not open. So I tested the system yesterday because, of course, I was preparing for this webinar and presentation today. And I went in, and for a split second, my heart stopped nearly, because I also saw the same messages as you, that it's not possible to apply at this time. And then I realized that if I didn't set the nationality, there's a pop-up window that comes up on the Tempus website. And if you don't set your nationality to one that is outside of the EU, then the system will not let you in. So make sure to do that. Because let's face it, you can only qualify to apply and to enter if you are a non-EU diaspora. Okay. What would be the reason for not to be qualified for the scholarship but still getting passed? So, we mentioned these administrative requirements. Maybe if you miss a deadline, sometimes it happens that people literally fall out of the process because of silly mistakes like that. And they don't let you back in.
No.
So it's really strict. But, we can still welcome you, like I said, as a self-funded student in those cases. So the dorm question, someone is asking about the dorm. I actually don't know the answer to this. And I want to be honest and upfront here to you, because it's important that you get the correct answer. So I'm going to find out, and I'm going to make sure that we communicate it as our follow-up. You are also welcome to write to us on the Contact Us page on the website. There is an opportunity for you to mark yourself as a diaspora applicant, and just repeat your question there, and I'll make sure that you get the answer about what the exact process is for diaspora students to apply for the dorm.
What I know from the dorm is it's a very kind of last-minute process, I would say. So it's not until the end of August that you get an answer on whether you get into the dorm or not, at which point you're already here in Hungary and your studies are starting. And so I'm not really sure if it's not really a personal thing. It's a thing that there are thousands of students at Corvinus trying to get into the dorm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no, so, you know, I can't make this any more beautiful than it's not actually. So, yeah.
It's just competitive.
It's competitive,
that's
but,
the thing,
and this is a long-term thing I want to say, we are well aware of this, and the university and its leadership are well aware of this, and they are actually looking at a significant expansion of the opportunities offered to students. Sadly, I don't think that will be in time for you if you are looking to come for September 2026, but for future generations or perhaps for future years of your studies, there may be more university owned or managed options. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. It's exactly 11 o'clock. I nearly want to high five you. Because it's just perfect. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you have found this session useful. Like I said, please write to us, contact us page on the website, on the English version, and submit that application, and let's have you here in September 2026.
Do it. My biggest advice, do it. If you have any doubts, do it. It'll be worth it.
Thank you very much.
See
you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.